Thank you. Before I bring up the next speaker, I know we have a couple more members coming in, so I'm going to let them take a seat real quick. Somebody else, come take a seat real quick, Dana. Is somebody else coming? And please make sure your cell phone is turned off. We don't want it going off during the contest. Okay. All right. Our speaker number 2 is Agni Fernandez with a speech called The New American. The New American, Agni Fernandez.
In me lies one of the biggest questions that we currently have in America, and that is about the face of America. It's about ambiguity, it's about duplicity, it's a catch-22, and it's a schism. And that is about who do we want to be as we move forward in world history, in human history. I'm going to talk about 3 things today. I'm going to talk about the bad, the ugly side of America. I'm going to talk about the good side of America and the role we play in the world. And I'm going to talk about the choice and the lesson that we have to learn from this experience. A lot of people would say that the United States, it's an empire. It colonizes the people around the world. It takes the resources, it abuses its people. I know if I have that argument with my dad, that's what he would say. I have learned to be a leader. I have learned to be in front of people like yourselves and have the ability to speak. I've learned that I have the right of freedom of speech. I learned that there have been many people before me that have made great things. For example, Benjamin Franklin and all of his inventions. In my recent trip to Philadelphia, I learned that he didn't patent any of his inventions. They were out there for the world. I know that Lincoln emancipated the slaves and provided freedom for all to follow around the world. I know that Martin Luther King fought for civil rights, fought for equality after failure and failure and failure that we've been through. And I even learned that Ronald Reagan, a Republican, had great contributions to society, to the world. He ended a Cold War through systematic politics, through influence, and through everything that makes us American. I had the pleasure of going with my mom to Omaha a couple months ago because she was becoming an American. And she wasn't very happy. It took her 30 years to make this decision. My dad, my brother who was born here would tell her, you have to do it. We live in this great country. It is the right choice to do. Think about the benefits. But that's not what she was thinking about. She was thinking about the person that she was and what it would take to become an American. My mom learned American history. Now, for somebody that only has a 3rd grade education, that's a pretty big accomplishment. I quizzed her before the test, and she did excellent. She recently passed her test. The lesson that I learned through her journey, through her challenge, through my own journey, my journey to find knowledge, my journey to find myself, my journey to identify myself as an American, is about a question, and that is the question I want to share with you. Who are we going to be in this new America? We have minorities see the United States going. For example, I don't know if you heard, in Arizona, there's a big fight for Latin American studies in an American classroom. And a lot of people say, well, they're talking about leaving the United States. They're talking about taking what was taken from them. California, Texas, Arizona. And it's probably true that in some of the curriculum, that is what they're talking about. But what we need to do is we need to come together. We need to teach about Franklin. We need to teach about Roosevelt. We need to teach about all the great writers, all the great leaders, and mix it with the individual differences that we all come together. So the question to you then is, what is the face of America? What are the lessons that we have learned after centuries of being in the position that we are and the role that we want to take? And that was my lesson. I choose to take a stand. I choose to speak up. I used to choose to use my rights and what I have learned that this great country has offered me. Thank you.
Our third speaker tonight, oh, I'm sorry, 1 minute on the clock, please. I'm sorry.